Yo, what is up, Broncos country? How's it going tonight, guys? Me and Muhammad are here tonight to do basically our first round for every team mock draft. Last week we did one for just the Broncos. All their picks. Last week we did every single one for the Broncos. This week we're just going to do the entire first round. Get into a bit more news that came out this past week. Talk about that stuff and all that. If you guys would like, please like, comment, subscribe on this video. Also, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live and you can jump in. Me and Muhammad will be doing a video next Saturday, and then our video for the following week will be on Thursday night, the first round of the draft. We will be live the entire first round, and we will not be done until after the draft is over. So make sure you hit the bell notification, like, comment, subscribe, like I said. But first of all, Muhammad, how was your week this week so far?
Good. Just living the dream, Eddie. What about you?
Same thing, living the dream, just working like crazy. So, but let's get into the news. First piece of news that we have is that the Broncos just signed another player from free agency, Sam Franklin Jr. They signed him from the Carolina Panthers. He's mostly going to be a special teamer. I assume I think he's a safety. Uh, but he's mostly going to be a special teamer. But what were your initial thoughts on this, Mohammed?
Honestly, Eddie, I didn't know anything about him. I was surprised when I saw the news, and then I realized that hey, this is like you said. I guess he was a safety, played for the Panthers for a few seasons. I believe he got injured a while back. But yes, gonna be a special teamer. Eddie, you gotta watch what Sean Payton's doing because this is the second player they're getting for their special teams, and I think once the season starts, it's gonna all start making sense with all these unknown players to us. But you'll be like, oh my god, so that's why they signed him. So I think
Yeah.
that's those situations. Yeah.
Yeah. Going over his stats, he's been in the league for one, two, three, four, 5 seasons. And even if you look at his stats, that clearly that's what he is. He's a special teamer because, um, I think tackles, I'm sorry, assist tackle, yeah, tackles. He had 8 in 2024, 30 in 23, 20 in 22, 24 in 2021, and 23 in 2020. I'm going down in order 24 down to 20. It's going down the line. He had 3 assists, 10 assists, 5 assists, 5 assists, 8 assists. And sacks in 2020, he had one. So I guess whenever he was playing in 2020, there was one play where he got the blitz off the edge, he got the sack. And he's had one INT his entire career. So that tells you basically he is a special team. He's going to be the guy that I don't know if he's going to be the gunner, the returner. Who knows what he's going to do, or if he's just going to be the guy out there being one of the blocking guys. So, but I'm fine with it. Like they brought in Rizzy from the Saints as the new special teams coordinator, and the Broncos are building. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it anymore. I truly think Sean Payton is building a dynasty here in Denver.
He is Eddie.
He
Sneak.
is. Like he did it with the Saints. Well, I wouldn't say that was a dynasty. I guess you could say that because they were winning the division almost every year. They were going above 500. I think there was like 3 seasons in the early 2010s. They went like 7-9, but that's because of lack of defense. This Broncos team has always had a defense. If there's one thing we've always had here in Denver, is a defense.
Yeah.
So Sean Payton is building something special here in Denver, and I asked this question. I wanted to ask you this, Muhammad, real quick. I asked this question the other day on the Mile High Huddle page.
Mhm.
Do you how many or do you think Sean Payton and Bo Nix will win Super Bowls in the next 4 years?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Honestly, Eddie, I don't want to go crazy and say this coming up season, but the season after that, I would not go past it. I mean, come on.
Well, because
He's
Bo
doing it
Nix,
all under the radar, Eddie. Like getting all these players that nobody really know anything about, or they're injured and stuff. But he
yep.
knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Well, what was I going to say? Bo Nix, he's going to be on his rookie deal pretty much for the next 4 years. They just went through his rookie year. They got year 2, year 3, year 4, and the 5th year if they pick up his 5th year option, which I'm sure they are. Because like unless Bo Nix falls flat on his face and he winds up being terrible, they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. So basically, you got 4 more years with Bo Nix on his rookie deal, and I do believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, I've talked to a lot of people, and they say, "Oh, they're going to win at least 2, or they're probably going to win 2." I'm like, I'm not going to go that far. I will say they will win 1. I think I just don't know if it's going to be in 25, 26, 27, or 28. One of those 4 years, they're going to win a Super Bowl because the Chiefs are weakened. The Chargers, I'm sorry, they're going to Charger. Like Jim Harbaugh, like, yeah, maybe you could say the same thing about them. They didn't have the greatest roster. They still went 11-6 last year, and they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs with the team and the Broncos that weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of hearing about the Chargers. Like, the whole national media uses them as like the gold standard, like, oh, they got the quarterback, they got the coach. This, like, they always put the Chargers in the playoffs every year, but they choke or they don't make it. And I'm like, how? That is not a team that is conducive to winning. They don't know how. They've never won anything. And I mean, yeah, of course that can change, but until it does, I don't believe in the Chargers. I don't care who's there. I don't care if Jim Harbaugh's there. I don't care if Justin Herbert's there. Justin Herbert to me is a choker. He's been in the playoffs twice. He's been in the league for 6, 7 years, and he hasn't won a single playoff game.
That window is closing on him too.
Yep. I mean, you can say the same about Josh Allen, but at least Josh Allen, whenever he gets in the playoffs, he wins some games. I mean, the only team he's had problems with is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Same with Lamar Jackson. I mean, he lost to Josh Allen last year, but even Lamar Jackson, at least he wins playoff games. I mean, I think he's still under 500, but Justin Herbert's been in the league for 7 years and won one playoff, or he hasn't won any playoff games. Sorry, the Chargers to me, they're a choke artist. The Raiders, I'm not worried about, and the Chiefs, they're on the downward spiral. But next piece of news is going off what you were talking about, Muhammad. There has been rumors that if a running back is not there at 20, well, if it's Hampton, Genty, I've seen mock drafts, probably the same ones you've seen. The Broncos take a wide receiver. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Eddie, that will piss me off. Seriously, like so help me God. Like if there's no running back, I mean, we're talking about Genty not being there, Omari Hampton. I guess if that's someone the Broncos are interested in, take a tight end. If Loveland is there, take him because if you don't, I'm pretty sure the Chargers will take him. If not, if there's no tight end or there's no one you like, trade back. Hey, this take two, like we said earlier, take two running backs, or you can, get work on that D line. I'm good with it too. A wide receiver, no. I don't even think there's one that I would put a first round grade on, Eddie. As far as the wide receivers, I think that would be a waste to me. But yeah, that's what I think.
I agree with you partially. If one of the running backs are not there that you want, excuse me, then just trade back and get more picks. Like, you got Devon Vele and Cortland Sutton, which by the way, the big 50-50 type of receivers, that's what Sean Payton loves. Those are the type of receivers he wants in this offense. He's not like, I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't use like a Marvin Mims. Of course he would. We seen him do it last year. We seen him do it the year before, like, the speed guy.
Yeah.
But it's and Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, they're the speed guys. But Peyton likes those big 50-50 guys that can go up for the ball. You got two of them. You got Devon Vele, who's 27, and you got Cortland Sutton, who's 29. So, and speaking of receivers, like, there is a receiver in the draft I do believe they're going to take in the top, probably in the second, third, maybe fourth round, like depending if they think he's still there or not. And that's Bo Nix's brother, Tez Johnson. That boy is fast. I think he ran like a 4.2 3 or something in the Columbine. Dude, he's fast. Like, if I was Sean Payton, like, you can wait until like the third or fourth round to get Tez Johnson because he's probably going to fall that far. I've seen, like, I'm not saying his draft stock is terrible, but people have him list as like, a fourth or a third round pick. So, pick up an extra, if one of your running backs ain't there, trade your freaking first round pick back, go back to like 26 or 27 and pick like an extra second or third round pickup. That way you can get a Tez Johnson to pair with Bo Nix, who has chemistry. I mean, so is Troy Franklin, but Tez Johnson's a lot faster. A lot faster. Um, but I'm on that. Like, if your running back's not there at 20, I say trade back. Honestly, like, and depending on who if there is a tight end there, depending on who it is, if it's like, I'd say maybe Loveland, but you got a deep tight end class this year too. Like, you can go get like Helm or I can't remember the other one, Ferguson, I think his name is, from Oregon. Go get one of them guys in like the second or third round. Like, but that leads into the next point I want to make before we get on to our mock draft here tonight, is that there have been rumors swirling the last couple of weeks that if Genty falls past the Raiders at 6, if he falls down around the 8 or 9 mark of the draft, there's been rumors saying Peyton will trade up to 8 or 9 from 20 to get Genty. What are your thoughts on that, Mohammed?
You know, Eddie, honestly, like as far as the drafts, I always like to hold on to my picks. But if that's someone that Sean Payton believes is the running back that's going to take us to the next level, yeah, I'm fine with it, Eddie. I mean, but I mean, how far is he going to fall? Like, I mean, if we're talking about like seventh or eighth or something like this, yes. I wouldn't go any higher than that because that probably would mean that we're gonna have to give up maybe another like a first round pick next year or something. I wouldn't go for that, but
Well, from my understanding, from all the mock drafts I've seen, there's only 3 teams in front of us that would take Genty. There's only 3.
I know the Cowboys would.
One is the Raiders.
Raiders.
2, someone said the Chicago Bears. I seen the Chicago Bears get mocked to draft Genty, and the Dallas Cowboys. But here's the thing: Raiders are the only one I think is possible because DeAndre Swift is still a good running back, and I don't think that they're going to draft a running back with their first round pick. With it being a loaded draft class, I think they might draft a running back, the Bears, but they're going to wait until probably like the second or third round. Because they got Swift. Swift's a good running back. He is. He's a damn good running back. And now that you have an offensive-minded head coach that can actually design plays for him, like, I'm sure Swift is going to be fine. Their backfield's perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but it's all right. It's doable. I think they're going to probably go offensive lineman in the first round, the Chicago Bears. I mean, they upgraded their inner offensive line. They desperately need to get some tackles. They need to get I've been seeing people say this. They need to get more defensive line help, more pass rush help to help out Sweat. I mean, they got Grady Jarrett, cool, but they need more. They need some more in the secondary. So I don't think the Bears are going to take them. And the Cowboys, yeah, it's possible, but they signed 2 running backs as free agency. They signed Javante, and I can't remember who the other one was they signed in free agency this year. Like, I know it was another somewhat big name running back, but it's like the Cowboys, they're going to cowboy. That's a new term for me. They're going to screw it up. They're going to they need offensive line help, another receiver, probably a tight end. They need some, they're going to need a couple of probably DBs on that side of the ball. I don't see the Cowboys taking him. And I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts where like Hampton and Genty are the only 2 running backs that are first round picks this year. One of those guys is going to fall to 20. So honestly, I don't think the Broncos are going to have to trade up. Like, if Genty is gone by the time Broncos pick, Hampton's going to be there at 20. I strongly believe that. Like, the only team I see before us drafting a running back would be the Las Vegas Raiders. And they would probably take Genty. But honestly, I wouldn't even put that up there. Like, the Raiders could Raider. Or maybe not Raider, but they could be like, oh, we need some more help on the defense. We need a blue chip player on the defense outside of Max Crosby. Or, oh, we need another offensive line. Or we need a receiver. I understand it's Pete Carroll. He likes to run the ball, but, you got Brock Bowers. like if you ain't got a decent offensive line, like you're not going to be able to run the ball, even with Genty. Like I would feel so bad for Genty going to the Raiders. I really, really would. He's not gonna be able to run.
It's gonna get
Like
frustrating.
Jacobs, that was the main reason why he wanted to leave Las Vegas. He got tired of being the one carrying them, just like Saquon got tired of being at the Giants with a horrid offensive line, and it was all because of them. Is the reason why their teams were somewhat successful, at least on offense. So I'm just saying, I don't know. Pete Carroll might take him. It's possible, but I think they maybe upgrade the offensive line, maybe go defense, and like people say, well, Pete Carroll's a defensive minded coach. He wants to run the ball. Yeah, but I'll I'll put $10 on it right now that they draft defense with their first round pick this year, the Raiders, because
Yeah.
they need help in that secondary. They need help at the middle linebackers. They lost Spillane this offseason. They need another inside backer. They need outside backer. They need corners and safeties, and they need someone else on the defensive line outside of Max Crosby.
You know what's scary about that, Eddie? What if
What's up?
Abdul Carter falls to them? Him and Max Crosby? That would probably scare me.
I'm not worried about it. With Sean Payton and Bo Nix getting the ball out quick and our offensive line being the top 5 line in the league, we'll be all right. I ain't worried about that. Bo Nix was one of the least sacked quarterbacks last year, and we played the Raiders twice. We played the Chiefs twice. We played the Chargers twice, who all had really good pass rushers. Chris Jones, Max Crosby, Khalil Mack. And, it came down to a block field goal against the Chiefs. The Chargers, um, you know, that was more on the defense, just letting Justin Herbert have a field day than it was on Bo Nix for me. And then we swept the Raiders, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah. Would I be fine with the Broncos trading up to 8 or 9? Yeah, I would. I'm not gonna if Sean Payton truly thinks that Genty is that guy, he's that Saquon Barkley or that Derrick Henry type of running back, that he's gonna be a game changer, do what you have to do. I don't care. You gotta trade a first and second round pick this year, do it. Go up there and get your guy. Get your next Alvin Kamara. Because that's what I want. So But anyway, that's enough of that. Now on to let's see the mock draft here. Let me get this all set up for you guys, and then we'll get in here and get ready or get this going. I gotta get set up real quick. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, enter first round. Oh shoot! Oh, I forgot to click something. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Dang it! Stupid computer. All right. Oh, wait, nope, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. Give me 1 second, guys. My computer's being glitchy. All right, there we go. Select all. So, Muhammad, you ready for the draft, bro?
Oh my God, Eddie! I wish it was this week, not 2 weeks from now.
I know, man. Less than 2 weeks now.
Mm.
We got less than 2 weeks.
Just all these
All right, let me
possibilities,
come back
the way the
here.
board might fall, Eddie. It's just exciting, because you never know. There's always surprises on the draft.
Yeah, yeah, there is, and I'm loving it, dude. I can't wait. All right, all right. Here we go, Muhammad. Can you see the draft thing up on the screen?
It's still loading up, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna. Yeah, there we go. I see it now.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's start this. All right. All right. We are now live on the draft, guys. So here we go. Okay, Mohammed, with the first overall pick in the 2025 draft, Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Who do you think they're taking here at 1?
I mean, we kind of know that it's gonna be Cam Ward from everything I heard. I'll be surprised if it's not. So let's just go with Mister.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think it's going to be Cam Ward too. They need their quarterback of the future because Will Levis is not it. So we got Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns. Now, there's been a lot of speculation. I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts. The Cleveland Browns could take Shador. They could take Carter here. They could take Travis Hunter. You know, and I honestly I don't know. I've even seen some mock drafts where they would take Mason Graham here, defensive lineman out of Michigan. Who do you think they take here, Mohammed, at 2 for the Cleveland Browns?
To me, what would make sense would be Shador, but I think they probably would go for Travis Hunter.
Do you think they would use him as corner or wide receiver? I think they would use him as probably a wide receiver.
Yeah, me too.
So, yeah, Travis Hunter going to the Cleveland Browns. That's going to be sad. I'm going to hate to see that. Next up, we got the New York Giants. Now, this one's been big too. Like, we know what the Giants have done this offseason. They've signed both Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson to contracts. And I've been seeing a lot of people say, oh, well, now they're not going to take Shador. They got 2 quarterbacks on their roster that they're probably going to go through the year with and hopefully be bad for next year to get ready for Arch Manning. But with that said, but I've also seen things that say, no, you draft Shador, you let all 3 of them battle it out in camp here, and whoever wins, if like Shador is not ready, then of course he's going to be your second string. But whoever looks better out of Jameis or Russ, you keep them as your starter until Shador's ready. But do you think the Giants take Shador here, or do you think they take a defensive lineman, offensive tackle, receiver? Like, what do you think the Giants are doing here, Mohammed?
The logical pick would be Shador, but the Giants, since they're the Giants, they're gonna screw it up. I'm pretty sure. Let's just go with Abdul Carter. I'm so kidding. Abdul
Okay,
Carter.
you got Abdul Carter going to the Giants at 3. I like that. I think that'd be a good thing. I mean, bolster your defense. I mean, of course, Brian Daboll's on the hot seat this year, but come on, man. Like, they're not taking Shador at 3. You signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, 2, honestly, I think still capable starting caliber quarterbacks. Low quality, but they're still starting caliber quarterbacks. So I'm right there with you, bro. I really am. I think they take Carter too. Next up, you got the New England Patriots. This one to me, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one, Mohammed. This to me,
O-line.
I thought a lot about it, and Mike Vrabel is a defensive guy, but the fact that they have their young franchise quarterback, and they don't have a great offensive line, I'm right here going to say the Patriots at 4 take Will Campbell out of LSU, offensive tackle.
That makes sense, Eddie.
Yeah, they got to protect their investment.
Yeah, I like that.
They have to protect Drake May.
Absolutely. I mean, see, Eddie, the Broncos are lucky because our O-line is solid, so we don't have to worry about that. But if I'm in their situation, definitely you got to protect your investment. So yeah, that's a good pick for the Patriots.
Yeah, like I said, Mike Vrabel is a defensive guy. You think he might go defense, but I think he's like, no, we got a franchise guy. We cannot let him sit back there and get killed all season. We have to go get another offensive tackle. So that's just my pick. Next up, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick 5. Honestly, here I was looking it over. What do you think the Jags do here, Mohammed?
I don't know, Eddie. Like, do they trust their quarterback? I think he's decent. Could they go and get Shador and just surprise everyone? I don't know, Eddie. Maybe get him some help.
Who do you think they take here? Do you think they take a receiver, offensive line, defensive line?
Who's their running back, Eddie? Do they have a good running back?
Travis Etienne.
I think I'm trying to avoid the Raiders taking Ashton Jeanty. That's why maybe you know what I'm saying. But hey, maybe they'll get maybe they'll take Tyler Warren, the tight end. That might be a good pick for them, Eddie. That might help.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't disagree with you there because they just lost Evan Ingram to free agency. They don't have, but I can agree with that, Mohammed. But also, they've lost some offensive linemen. I mean, I don't think their defensive line's as bad as people say. They
Hmm.
need corner. Like let's go up here and look. It shows what they need, what their top needs are: defensive line, wide receiver, tight end, running back, inside offensive line.
Man, they need everything.
You say tight end. I mean, that's a top three pick, that the top three position they need. But it says they need wide receiver, which I guess I can understand that.
Hmm.
And they need defensive line, but I don't think they're going to go defensive line because they got Walker and a couple other decent guys up there. I think it's between Warren and McMillan. I think it's between the receiver here from Arizona or Tyler from Penn State. Gun to your head, who do you think out of those two they would take with the fifth overall pick?
They're sort of like the Giants. They kind of screw things up, Eddie. So I think they really go for the wide receiver.
Wide receiver. So
Even
McMillan.
though
All
if
right.
if I'm the GM, I'd probably get the tight end. Tyler Warren is a pretty good prospect. So
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
Eddie, the
Next
Raiders.
up, Next up is the team that I'm dreading at the sixth pick, man. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat that night. I'm sure you are too. With the sixth overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, with Pete Carroll running things. Now, you see their needs in order right here on the screen, Mohammed. They need running back as their number one, wide receiver, quarterback, edge, linebacker, tight end. Who do you think the Raiders take here? Pete Carroll's an offensive guy, so running back and defense are the big two ones that come to mind to me. But who do you think they take here?
I wish they would take Mason Graham, but I think they're gonna pick Ashton Genty just to piss me off.
So you got Genty going to the Raiders at 6. All right. Genty to the Raiders at 6. I hope Pete Carroll throws a wrench in that plan. I hope he drafts Mason Graham or one of these defensive guys or even an offensive lineman to help Geno Smith. Like the Raiders, I think Pete Carroll's smart enough. Like I'm going to use Pete Carroll's wisdom against him. Yes, they need a running back, but you got a 34-year-old quarterback, no offensive line, no defense, and Pete Carroll's a defensive-minded guy. Like to me, it's like, yeah, you need a run game, but with this being such a deep running back class, I think the Raiders might pass on Genty. I think they take either a defensive player or offensive
Hmm.
line because they don't have one in Las Vegas, and you're going to have a 34-year-old Geno Smith out there running for his life. Like at least Seattle had a decent offensive line; they had a good defense.
They might trade
So
back, Eddie. Make it like get an extra pick and maybe address the O line and maybe the D line or get a running back down the
yeah,
line. Yeah, it's all these possibilities, but
I hope so. I hope he goes defense or he goes freaking offensive line to protect Geno or defense to bolster the defense to get them better since he's a defensive guy, but. I have a weird feeling too, Mohammed. Like it's going to piss me off too that they're going to take Genty here.
yeah.
So, but next up we got the New York Jets at pick 7. They need offensive tackle, defensive, wide receiver, corner, running back, blah blah blah. Right here, I think I want to say offensive tackle, but with Justin Fields being young and still mobile, I think right here this is where Mason Graham goes to the New York Jets at pick 7. He becomes a New York Jet because Aaron Glenn, he's a defensive minded head coach. I think he's going to go with a defensive guy here. Do you agree with that, Mohammed, or do you think it's going to be somebody else?
Yeah, either that. I was actually thinking maybe they considered Tyler Warren too to help out their QB. That's a possibility, but Mason Graham is pretty decent because their defense is not as it used to be anyway. So
Yeah. Well, bolster your strength. Like that's still the strength of the Jets, in my opinion, is their defense. And I think with Aaron Glenn being there, being a defensive guy, he's going to bolster that defense to try to strengthen their strength. So next up, you got the Carolina Panthers at pick 8. They need edge, corner, defensive line, linebacker, running back. They need a lot of defensive help. It seems like. Who do you got the Panthers taking here at pick? What is it? 8.
ready, Eddie? They take Jalen Walker, edge, Georgia Tech.
Take you.
Or they might go for that
I
corner,
can get
Eddie.
with that. Like
But
Which one? J.M.
Will
Barron or Mikael Williams? Or no, that's
Will
Will
Johnson.
Johnson. Okay. I think they go. I think you're right though. I think they go Jalen Warren since that's like the second most need on their team, or I think it was. But they lost Brian Burns last year. They traded him to the Giants. They just paid J.C. Horn, and they got Xavier Leggett. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they took an offensive tackle there either. To be honest with you, because their offensive line is not that great, but I could be wrong on that. And I think they like that tight end that they have. Thompson, I think his name is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But next up at pick 9, you got the New Orleans Saints. They need quarterback, edge, wide receiver, running back, interior offensive line. Who do you think they take here, Mohammed?
Shadora Sanders.
You think so?
Yes.
All right. Before I put that in, I'm just gonna say I think they go. I strongly think they probably go. I'm trying to see who's left on the board.
Tyler Warren. If they believe in Carr.
I think I might go Mikael Williams, edge,
Okay.
but because they have Derek Carr there, I think for at least another couple years. So, and they drafted Spencer Rattler last year. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do take Shador here because they got the new head coach there, and what's his name, Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he wants to draft. If Shador falls to 9, I would not be totally against the fact that the Saints would take him. But it's like you got an old aging roster, and you literally are in cap hell still. Like, if you're going to get Shador this year, you better this coming next offseason get rid of everybody. Get rid of everybody. Clear up your cap because if you draft Shador to be your franchise QB and in 5 years you need to pay him, you got to be able to get that money and the money not just to pay him but to build the roster. Like, do they need a quarterback? Yes, but I don't think it would be smart for the Saints to take a quarterback here. Honestly, I really don't. For the simple fact that they're not going to be able to put weapons around him. All the weapons they have there now are aging, they're overpriced, and they're going to have to gut it all down next year. Like, to build their cap back up so they can pay Shador and actually put talent on this roster. But I would not be surprised if in a desperate move they take Shador, but I think it'd be stupid. But I agree with you, Mohammed. The New Orleans Saints take Shador Sanders. He's heading to Louisiana.
Yep.
Next up, Chicago Bears. As you see their top needs here, running back, edge, safety, wide receiver, corner. A lot of people are saying this is where Omari Hampton or Genty would go if they weren't, if Genty doesn't go or Omari Hampton doesn't go before this. I disagree. I think Ben Johnson has had DeAndre Swift in Detroit with him. He knows what he has in his running back. He's not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to take another running back this high whenever I can still use offensive line. I need edge. I need safety. I need I don't think they really need a wide receiver. But, like, I don't think Ben Johnson's going to take a running back here. I really don't. Like, he knows what he has in Swift, and he's happy with that. But with that said, who do you think they take here, Mohammed?
They probably should address the O line, Eddie, because I do think that was kind of a weakness for them, right? Did they trade for somebody? They traded for they traded with the Chiefs, was it? They got a
They
guard.
got Thuney at guard. They got I forgot his last name. They got the center from Atlanta, and then I think they had a guard, their right guard. They drafted who's really good. I don't know who their offensive tackles are, to be honest with you. So, I mean, they could go this guy right here out of Mizzou. They could go with Kelvin Banks. They could go with who's this one down here that got suggested to us? Oh, an edge, Mikael Williams. They could go for. Who do you
Eddie,
think they take
don't
here,
think
Mohammed?
they
You
would
think they take an
consider?
offensive line or defensive guy?
You don't think they would probably consider Tyler Warren the tight end just to get loaded up with weapons?
No, They got
You know,
they got Cole Kmet. They still got Darrell Moody, and they drafted what's the other kid's name last year? Aroma Dunze. I don't think they're going to go any offensive weapons this year, at least not in the first round. I think they're either going to go offensive line or defense, in my personal opinion.
probably defense, Eddie. Probably defense.
You think they take? You think they take Mikael Williams here, or do you think they take Schumer Stewart or uh, Mike Green?
Um, probably maybe they will go with Williams.
Williams. All right, yeah. Like I said before, they need some. They've been talking about getting someone else on the other end to opposite of a Sweat to help him out. I think that'd be a good pick. Bolster the defense, and help them out. So, uh, next up, you got the San Francisco 49ers. Um, right here, the top needs or offensive tackle, edge, tight end, linebacker. Um, if I had to guess off the top of my head right now, they will go offensive tackle. I think they take this guy out of Mizzou. What do you think, Mohammed?
Armand, yeah, they did lose a
Like
lot of players
Trent
too.
Williams, Trent Williams is 37 years old. He's 37, and honestly, they lost a lot of pieces this year. But I think if they're going to pay Brock Purdy before the season starts, they got to protect that investment, and they got to get young and get another tackle or another offensive lineman. So I think they go with this tackle out of Missouri. Next up is the Dallas Cowboys at pick 12. Their needs are wide receiver, edge, offensive tackle, inside offensive line, and defensive line. Who do you think they go with here, Mohammed? Trying to see.
Like, I know they're gonna screw it up, so maybe they take a corner, somebody they don't really need, just something wild. Jerry Jones is
You
gonna
think
go
Will
wild.
Johnson?
Yeah, yeah, they would not surprise me, Eddie. They'll just do something stupid. Cowboys fans are not gonna like that, but
Okay, so Will Johnson goes to the Cowboys from Michigan. Next up, you got the Miami Dolphins at pick 13. They need offensive tackle, corner, inside offensive line, edge, linebacker. I think this screams Kelvin Banks right here. They need an offensive tackle, especially since did they pay Tua last year or the year before that, Mohammed? I'm pretty
I
sure
think the
Tua
year,
got paid, didn't he?
the year before.
Yeah, and that kid's one concussion away from being out of the NFL, in my opinion. So, and they lost. I think Armstead retired this year, their offensive tackle. I think right here they got to go Kelvin Banks. They got to protect Tua. That kid takes one more hit, I think he's out of the NFL. So I'm going Kelvin Banks to the Miami Dolphins here at pick 13. Uh, Pick 14, Muhammad. This might be your chance right here, bro. Indianapolis Colts, the tight end, edge, safety, defensive line, and quarterback. Who do you think they go with here?
Uh, See, that's my brother's team too. I would say Tyler Warren goes over here, Eddie.
Yeah, because I think their number one tight end last year was Mo Cox, and he's not even there anymore. I think he left in free agency. So I agree. I think Tyler Warren goes to the Indianapolis Colts. Next up, Atlanta Falcons at pick 15. They need edge, linebacker, safety, inside offensive line, and tight end. Who do you think they take here? I mean, it's obvious to me who they take at 15 for the Falcons, but who do you
Shamar
think they take,
Stewart.
Mohammed? Yep,
Shamar
I think they
Stewart.
take Jamor Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M. They need pass rush help bad. They lost Grady Jarrett. They needed pass rush help last year, which is why so many people were baffled. I mean, retrospect now, it looks like a good thing that they took Michael Penix because Kirk Cousins looks like he's done. But it
Mhm.
was like last year, people were like, no, they're going to take Edge They're going to take Edge because they need a pass rusher. And they didn't. And then this year, they lost Grady Jarrett in free agency. So it makes sense for them to take a pass rusher here. So next up, Arizona Cardinals at pick 16. They need edge, corner, wide receiver, inside offensive line, and quarterback. Really? They need a quarterback? Who do you think they take here, Mohammed? And they need tight end.
That's a tough one, Eddie. See, they need edge,
Edge,
cornerback.
corner, receiver, inside offensive line, quarterback, and tight end.
Let's say they go with that corner, Eddie. Not gonna even try to
Perrin?
pronounce it. Aaron, yeah, let's just go with this last name.
Okay. You think they take a corner? I can get with that. Next up is the Cincinnati Bengals at pick 17. This one to me, just like the Falcons, is really easy to understand because Henderson's probably gone. They desperately need defense. And I would have to say it's going to be Mike Green out of Marshall here.
I agree.
So they take Mike Green. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks at pick 18. They need inside offensive line, offensive tackle, tight end, corner, linebacker. Who do you think they take here?
I think they'll take Loveland, Eddie.
You think
What
they'll
do you
take
think?
Loveland? Corseland Loveland? All
To
right.
help out
I can get
their
with that. Give
newly acquired quarterback.
I mean they still have Noah Fant in Seattle too, but I guess two weapons wouldn't hurt, you know.
He kind of
Uh,
sucks though, Eddie. Let's be honest.
Next up, Tampa Bay. Huh?
I said Noah Fant kind of sucks. I'm sorry, but
Uh, all right. Well, next up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19. They need linebacker, safety, wide receiver, tight end, inside offensive line. Who do you got Tampa Bay Bucks taking here?
let's go with Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama.
Yeah, a lot. I seen Golden mocked a lot to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'm like, they still got Godwin, they still got Mike Evans. They don't need a receiver. Like, I agree. I think Campbell they need linebacker help. He goes there. Next up, our boys, the Denver Broncos at pick 20. And you see the name there, Muhammad. I see the name. I think we both can agree on this right here, right now. Omari Hampton, running back from North Carolina, goes to the Denver Broncos at 20. What do you think?
Absolutely. You know what's funny, Eddie? I see that safety that they were kind of always showing the Broncos gonna pick Nick Amanwari or something. Yeah, from South Carolina. But definitely, I would probably go with Amari and Hampton. Hope that's our pick.
Yeah, I don't. They're not going to take a safety after they signed Brandon Jones last year. They just signed one in free agency this year. Two of them actually. They signed Hufanga and they signed that special teamers, and they still got PJ Locke on the roster. They still got Skinner. Like, there's no way they're taking a safety in the first round. Like that'd probably be the worst pick they can make, in my opinion. Even worse than wide receiver. So here I'm going with Omari and Hampton to the Denver Broncos at 20. Uh, Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, running back, wide receiver, safety, edge is what they need. Where do you think they go here, Mohammed?
Shit, they need a quarterback is what they need. Uh, well, they just
Okay.
got.
Jackson Dart's right here.
Mhm. You know what, Eddie? Honestly, I would not be surprised. I actually did see that Dart actually kind of moving up on the draft board. So maybe. I mean, they haven't really signed a quarterback that we know of yet. Um,
They're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, if the Pittsburgh Steelers draft Jackson Dart at pick 21, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to go there. I
nope.
mean, I could be wrong, but do you think they take Dart or do you think they take one of these safeties or this wide receiver here? Or do you think it's Dart?
I think the quarterback would make sense to me, Eddie. honestly. If you're thinking
Okay.
about
So you got Pittsburgh drafting Jackson Dart. I mean, he's ranked 26 and they're at 21, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, honestly. So Jackson Dart goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Next up, bro, a division rival in the Chargers. They need tight end, defensive line, corner, inner offensive line, and safety. Where do you think they go here?
they probably go with the D. They help the D line, Eddie. They probably go with Kenneth, or they might go
Walter
for they might
Nolan?
take that safety too, Eddie. That's a possibility. But let's go with D line help, Kenneth Graham.
Okay. They draft Kenneth Grant and upgrade that defensive line. I mean, I think Charger fans are going to be pissed if that happens because they desperately want a receiver
Hmm.
from what I've seen.
We could just
Uh,
let.
all right, next up, Green Bay Packers at 23 need corner, wide receiver, inner offensive line, offensive tackle, and safety. Who do you think they're taking here, Mohammed?
They draft the wide receiver Matthew Golden. What do you think?
All right, goes to the Packers. Nice. Like this one to me seems relatively easy. Minnesota at 24. They need safety, D line, wide receiver, really wide receiver, running back, and linebacker. I think here this is where you see Mikel
Nick,
Starks here, safety from Georgia, go to the Minnesota Vikings.
okay.
All right. Next up, Houston Texans. They need offensive line, wide receiver, running back, tight end, linebacker. This one to me, I mean, they traded away Laramie Tunsil after their offensive line struggled last year, and so did CJ Stroud. To me, this would make sense here to take Josh Simmons, Ohio State offensive tackle. But what do you say, Mohammed?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why they did that. That was really stupid. That was a weakness
Yeah,
for them. I mean, the guy was running for his life. It's just it was hard to watch. But yeah, Josh
yeah, I
Simmons.
agree. So stupid. The Chiefs did the same thing, got rid of their best offensive lineman just to bring in a backup guard.
I mean, that
Yeah.
move I kind of like. You know,
Well, I like it too, but I'm just saying, like for the Chiefs and Chief fans, it's like, what the hell are we doing? You know. Uh, Next up, you got the Los Angeles Rams. They need corner, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, and safety. What do you think they go here, Mohammed? Trying to look here. Let's take a look at the corners here that they have. That's the next highest rated corner is Maxwell Harrison. He's I don't think he's a first round pick. Wide receiver. Let's take a look here. Because they lost Cooper Cup. I mean, you got Igba from Ohio State, 33. They might take him. What about tight ends? And then you got Mason Taylor, 46, out of LSU. And who's the next quarterback? Jalen Milrow? I don't think so. What about safety? I think this is where that Nick kid right here for the Rams, he goes. Yeah, the safety.
a freak of nature, Eddie. Like a pretty good athlete. I don't know if you've seen his highlights and measurements and stuff, but
No, I have to watch him, but I know they need corner, wide receiver, but none of the receivers, corners, or tight ends left on the board are worth drafting in the first round based off this right here. So I think they take the safety here, pick 26. Next up, Baltimore Ravens need edge, safety, corner, wide receiver, and linebacker. Who do you think they take here, Mohammed? Let me know if there's any positions you want to look at, and I'll scroll over to it.
let's look at edge. I see a few. Let's look at edge.
Edge. Well, you got James Pierce Jr. here from Tennessee at 28, ranked 28. Then you
Edge,
got
right?
this kid, this Devin kid from Boston College at 32.
Safety corner. How about the wide receivers, Eddie? I think they really go with the edge, but let's look at the wide receivers.
You got this. Igba kid from Ohio State. You got Burton from Missouri, Higgins from Ohio State, Trey Harris from Mississippi. But I don't think none of those guys are. I think the top two, Burton and Igba, they might be
Second round.
worthy of a first round pick. So who'd you say?
I heard good things about Ekba, Eddie. Let's say they go with Ekba, the wide receiver.
All right, they go with him. Next up, Detroit Lions. Need edge, D line, corner, linebacker, tight end. Who do you think they go with here? I mean, you got Walter Nolan, you got James Pierce, uh, the top two defensive guys here, 27, 28. Let me know if there's any positions you want to look at.
Edge or D-line. I think they go with Walter Nolan, Eddie. D-line, Mississippi.
Defensive line.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Washington Commanders. Need edge, corner, safety, offensive tackle, linebacker. I think this one's a no-brainer. Dan Quinn being there, they need edge help. I think they go with James Pierce here
James Pierce.
from Tennessee. Pick number 30. We got 3 more picks left, bro. Buffalo Bills need defensive line, edge, safety, offensive tackle, and running back. Who do you think they take here? Let me know if there's any positions you want me to highlight.
Pick at 30. Let's look at D-line, Eddie.
All right.
So that Dirk.
You got Harmon, Williams, Alexander, Sanders, but these are all like third, fourth round guy or second, third round guys. I mean, you got Harmon here, who's ranked 31st.
Yeah, they go with Dirk.
Did you want to look at edge or? Okay. Next up, Kansas
Pretty much need everything
City
except
Chiefs. It even says it here, they need offensive tackle, inner offensive lineman, they need running back, corner, tight end. Who do you think they go with here? You got 2 offensive linemen here, inner offensive linemen.
I think that's what they should go with, Eddie, since they lost Tony and then look at.
Do
Let's look
you
at
think they take
offensive
Gary?
tackle.
Do they take
Yeah,
Gary Zabel or they take Tyler Booker?
you think they go with the inside linebacker?
No, I'm saying, do they take out of these 2 offensive linemen? Is that who you said they're probably going to take?
Inside line. Yeah, it's probably gonna be one of those two.
The, if you had to pick, do you think it would be from Alabama or North? I think it would be Tyler Booker from Alabama because Alabama's got a really good program. But him?
Yeah, Tyler Booker.
All right. And last pick to end our mock draft, our first mock draft. We might do another one next week, guys. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. You got the Philadelphia Eagles need edge, safety, inner offensive line, offensive tackle, linebacker. Who do you think they take here, Mohammed?
They need help with the defense because I think they lost some players. Who you got for the D line? If you could look at the D line, let's see what they have.
D line. Let's take a look.
If you look at the D-line,
Williams, Alexander, Sanders. Like these are like
second,
third round guys.
Edge. Second.
They also need edge, and you got this Devin kid right here from Boston College. He's ranked 32. You got Nick Skorson. I think I see a lot of people say he could be a top or he could be a first round pick, but I don't know. I haven't watched his highlights. Any other positions you want to look at?
Safety.
Inner offensive line. Safety.
Oh yeah, that's
Xavier Watts, 52. What about offensive tackle? Let's take a look at that. They got this Josh Corley Jr. at 35 they could take.
They might go with that, Eddie. Might go with the
offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe get a defensive player in the second
right.
round. Yay, we got it done. B plus. Can we look at all the grades, Eddie? Does it show that for the picks or?
Yeah, right here. So hang on. Let's go back and look. So with our oh crap, stupid thing. All right, let's start from the bottom here. Commanders. We had them take James Pierce Jr. Edge out of Tennessee. That was an A+ pick.
Nice.
Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward. That's an A+ pick. They're going to draft their quarterback in the future, which is always a good thing. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A+. They took Campbell, the linebacker out of Alabama, who they really needed. Seattle Seahawks. We had them take tight end Corson Loveland at pick 18. That was an A. I can't wait to see what grades these all get, man. I'm really excited. We had them, the 49ers take this tackle out of Missouri, A+. Pittsburgh Steelers. This one's going to scare me, dude, because we had them take start at pick 21. Let's see what grade they gave this. They gave it an A.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. That
I guess
sounds good for them.
Need.
Eagles, we
Oh, B+.
say what?
I said they're probably looking at the team's need, and yeah, so that's probably why we got an A for that one.
Yeah, kind of like we did. But Josh here, offensive tackle from Oregon for the Eagles, was a B+. The Giants took Abdul Carter at 3. That's an A. New York Jets, we had them take Mason Graham, defensive line out of Michigan. That was an A. New Orleans Saints took Shador Sanders, A+. They considered that because I don't know, man. I think Shador, I don't know, man. I don't know where he's going to go, man. I've been hearing about his rise and fall. I don't know where he's going to go. The Patriots take Will Campbell, offensive tackle. They got that listed as an A. Minnesota Vikings. Starks, the safety out of Georgia, that's an A. Miami Dolphins, we had them take Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle from Texas. That's an A+. I can't wait to see what the Broncos got. Chargers, Kenneth Grant, defensive line, that was an A. That was a good pick out of Michigan. Los Angeles Rams, they got the safety, Nick. That's a B+. Raiders, oh God, I don't want to see this. A+ to take an Ashton Genty at pick 6.
Surprise.
Lame. Kansas City Chiefs got an A for taking Tyler Booker and her offensive lineman. Jaguars, we had them take McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. That was an A. So far, the lowest one was the Eagles with a B. That was the lowest grade so far. Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State for the Colts. A+. Houston Texans took Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State, A+. Packers took Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. That's an A. Let's see. Detroit Lions, Walter Nolan, defensive lineman. That's an A. Let's see. Moment of truth. I'm going to skip to the Broncos last. Dallas Cowboys, Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. That was an A. Cleveland Browns took Travis Hunter, corner, which we think he might be a receiver. A. Cincinnati Bengals took Mike Green, edge, Marshall. That's an A+. Chicago Bears took Mikael Williams, edge, Georgia, A. Panthers took Jalen Walker, edge, Georgia. That's an A+. Buffalo Bills took Derek Harmon, defensive line, Oregon. That's an A+. Okay, Baltimore Ravens is next. Igba, wide receiver, Ohio State, was a B+. I know, well, because I think he was he was supposed to be in the second round. Stewart, edge, Texas A&M to the Falcons. That's an A+. Cardinals to Barron, corner, Texas. That's an A. And then the last one, our boys. What did we get? Broncos, Amari Harris, running back, North Carolina, A+. So that is our first round mock draft from me and Mohammed, guys. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this now so I can come back to the main screen. But that's our mock draft for the first time. Like I said, we'll probably do another mock draft next week. But Mohammed, man, I think we hit on a lot of those picks. Like the worst one was the Eagles at pick 32. They got a B though. Everything else was a B plus or above. So if that's the way the draft falls, I'll be perfectly happy with taking Amari Hampton at 20. What about you?
Absolutely, Eddie. Absolutely. I guess the only thing I would say about that, Eddie, is Omari Hampton. Is that someone that Sean Payton thinks of as somebody who's worth a first round pick? Is that one of his guys? Because we don't know their board, but
True.
to me,
Well,
to me that looks like a number two running backs. After Gentry. So
yeah. Well, it's also what kind of running back is he, and what kind of running back is Peyton looking for?
exactly.
Peyton, to me, he likes those scat backs. He likes those receiving type backs out of the backfield that can catch it. Like, I mean, look at Alvin Kamara. He can run the ball and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And if that's what Omari Hampton is, then Sean Payton's going to take him. Like, if he's that
Mhm.
scat back type receiving back that come out of the backfield, catch balls, and run it, he's going to be your RB1 of the future. So, but anyway, I had a lot of fun tonight, Mohammed. Man, we got through a really good draft. Like I said, we'll do one next week, and then the following week we got the draft. Man,
Real
on
deal.
here for 3 hours. We're gonna have to prepare for that. Big time, dude. We're gonna be sitting on this computer for 3 hours. So, but that's it for us tonight, guys. Once again, if you would please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what your mock drafts would be. Also, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. And Mohammed, it's been great, man. I can't wait to do this again next week.
Absolutely, Eddie. It was a lot of fun for sure.
So we will see you guys next Saturday. Have a good week. Peace.